All right, let's talk about something you see all the time, but maybe don't think about too much. We're looking way, way up at the top of those giant towers that dot the landscape. We're talking about the unsung heroes of your TV signal, modern broadcast antennas. And believe me, they are so much more than just a fancy version of rabbit ears. They are absolutely essential in today's digital world. And just so you know, we're taking a deep dive here as part of a much bigger picture. This is part 15 of our 40-part series on modern broadcast transmission, brought to you by Virtualization Options LLC. Okay, let's get into it. So, what's the big deal with digital anyway? Well, think about the old analog signals. They could get a little fuzzy, a little snowy, but you could still kind of watch the show. Digital TV, it's all or nothing. You either get a perfect picture or you get a frozen screen. This puts some really strict demands on the entire system, and the antenna, well, it's the final critical link in that whole chain. Here's the key thing you gotta understand. Digital signals need what engineers call a flat frequency response. Imagine you're sending a stream of data through a high-speed cable. For that data to arrive perfectly, the path has to be completely smooth, no bumps or dips. It's the exact same for a TV signal. Any little variation across its 6 megahertz channel can corrupt the data, and for you at home, that means your show just stops. Now, not all TV signals are the same, and where they live on the radio spectrum, their frequency, has a huge impact on how the antennas are actually designed. Broadcasters operate in a few different bands, and each one has its own personality, its own quirks. Let's break this down. Way down in the VHF low band, the radio waves are really long, which means the antennas have to be physically huge, just massive. VHF high band is a little more manageable, a bit of a sweet spot, and we've seen some stations move back there. But honestly, the real action where most modern digital stations live is in the UHF band. The wavelengths are much shorter, which lets you build these really compact, super efficient antennas that can pack a serious punch. Okay, so we know where the signals live. Now let's talk about how we control them. This is where the real art and science comes in. We're going to look at the two most important ideas that define what an antenna does: its gain and its pattern. This is how engineers turn raw power into a signal that actually reaches your house. So, what is antenna gain? It's a bit of a misleading name because it's not about creating more power. It's about focusing the power you already have. The best analogy is a flashlight. A bare bulb lights up the whole room dimly, but put a reflector behind it, now you've got a focused beam that can go way further. A high-gain antenna does exactly that. It focuses the signal on the horizon to reach viewers. But here's the thing, right? In engineering, there is no such thing as a free lunch. You can't just keep cranking up the gain without something else giving way. It comes with a pretty big and potentially tricky trade-off. Any ideas what it might be? And that's the catch. It's all about the vertical pattern. As you boost the gain, you're essentially squashing the signal's beam, making it flatter and wider. This is great for reaching distant viewers, but it can create what engineers call a cone of silence, a dead zone, a signal gap, right underneath and close to the broadcast tower. Suddenly, the people closest to the transmitter can't get a signal. So how do they fix this? Well, they've got some pretty clever tricks up their sleeves. They can use something called electrical beam tilt to aim that main beam down just a tiny bit. Then they can use null fill, which bleeds a little bit of energy downwards to fill in that gap near the tower. And of course, they can create directional patterns, so they're not wasting energy broadcasting over an empty ocean or a mountain range, but pointing it right at the cities and towns. We've talked a lot of theory. Now let's look at the actual hardware that's bolted to the top of these towers. While there are a bunch of different designs out there, two types really dominate modern TV broadcasting. On one hand, you have panel antennas. These are the absolute workhorses of the UHF band. They can handle incredible amounts of power, and you can stack them in arrays to get that really high gain we were talking about. Then, you've got log periodic antennas. You see these more in the VHF band. They look a little more like what you'd imagine a TV antenna to look like. Their superpower is covering a huge range of frequencies, but they usually don't have the same focusing power as a big panel array. And here is a perfect look at one of those panel arrays. See all those white rectangular panels? Each one of those is an individual antenna element. By precisely controlling the signal that goes to each one, engineers can shape and steer the overall broadcast pattern with just incredible precision. It's all about putting the signal exactly where people live. Of course, you don't just bolt this incredibly expensive, complex piece of equipment to a tower and walk away. Keeping that digital signal perfectly clean means careful tuning when it's installed, and, just as important, ongoing maintenance to make sure it performs perfectly for years and years. This number, 1.1 to 1. This might not look like much, but if you're a broadcast engineer, this number is, well, it's everything. It's the goal. It's the magic number you are always, always chasing. This is the target for something called VSWR, or Voltage Standing Wave Ratio. Getting a VSWR of 1.1 to 1, or even better, means that almost every single watt of power from the transmitter is going out into the air. If that number gets higher, it means power is actually reflecting back down the line. That's bad. It can damage expensive equipment, and you guessed it, it completely wrecks that perfectly flat frequency response our digital signal needs to survive. So the maintenance schedule is pretty intense. Engineers are up there doing physical checks on the mounting hardware, especially after a big ice storm. They are constantly measuring that VSWR to catch small problems before they become big, expensive ones. And they're out in the field with meters, measuring the signal strength to make sure the broadcast pattern hasn't changed and that they're covering the area they're supposed to. And all of this brings us to the next giant leap, ATSC 3.0. This is the next generation of broadcast TV. The goal is to deliver stunning 4K video to your TV at home and a rock-solid signal to your phone, your tablet, your car. So we'll leave you with this to chew on. How on earth do you design an antenna system that can perfectly serve a fixed screen on a roof and a moving device in someone's hand, all at the same time? That is the puzzle the next generation of broadcast engineers is working on right now. Thanks for tuning in.